Okay, so we're going to discuss a lesson on absolute value and what absolute value actually means. The definition of absolute value is when you have a number line. So, for example, if we draw out a number line and we have 0, and let's say we have the number 2. Absolute value of a number is how far away from 0 that number is from 0. So we would count the spaces, 1, 2. So the absolute value of 2 would be 2 because it's 2 spaces from 0. Okay. Also, if we take a look at the number -2, the absolute value of -2 would also be 2. Okay. So the definition is the distance from 0. Now, since we're talking about distance, the absolute value of a number is always going to be positive. So in the example I shown, we took the absolute value of 2, which the symbols for absolute value is the 2 bars surrounding a number straight up and down, not to be confused with parentheses because these are straight. So the 2 bars around a number mean you take the absolute value of a number, and it's always going to be positive because we're talking about a distance, and that's the distance from 0. So if we're going to evaluate numbers and examples, take a look at the absolute value of 2. Well, the absolute value of 2, we've already done, is how far away from 0. It would be a positive 2. And the answer is always going to be positive. Always positive. What is the absolute value of 9? It would be 9. The absolute value of -14 is going to be 14. It is 14 spaces from 0 on a number line. What is the absolute value of 1? Well, the absolute value of 1 would be 1. The absolute value of 16 would be 16. The absolute value of -5 would be 5. The absolute value of -12 would be a positive 12. The answer is always positive. Now in this question, it's asking us to talk about the absolute value of 2 and not just evaluate what the number is, but also answer using the definition. So evaluating the absolute value of 2 leads to which of the following conclusions? Well, 2 is exactly 2 units away from 0 on a number line. So the choice here that would be the right answer would be the last choice.